Welcome to Northwest Connects. This is the program where we keep you connected to what's happening in the Northwest Local School District. We have in the studio today, of course, the superintendent, Daryl Yater. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We also have district social worker, Lindsay Gibson.
Hello.
And Taylor Elementary School counselor, Amanda Schwederman.
Hello.
And so thank you so much for being here. It's busy end of holiday season, school semester-wise, and we've been swamped with concerts and end-of-year exams, I'm sure, and Spirit Week and Pajama Day.
Pajama Day at Taylor, yep.
I need a pajama day at Waycross, like on set for sure. I love that. So in the middle of all that, though, we wanted to make sure, I appreciate that you're taking the time so that we can let the stakeholders find out what's going on, whether the things that they can connect to in the district. So it's giving season. We've put giving season things on set so that you can get that vibe with us. We know that you're a school district, you're supporting students academically, but that's not the only way you're supporting students. So can you talk a little bit about how you support beyond academics?
Yeah, our mission statement is that we create a responsive learning community where we guide, value, and challenge students along a pathway to success. And that responsive learning community is not just in the classroom. That means that we are supporting the whole child, and they have a lot of needs that they bring to the table that we have to address before they're ready to learn. And so one of the things that we do is we really look at the holistic child and the family. So we really do wrap around all of our students and our families to make sure that as we prepare to get them ready for the next step academically, that they are ready every other way to engage in that environment.
Absolutely. And Lindsay, you can tell us some of the specific needs that you're seeing in the community. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So our main goal, like Daryl said, is to make sure our students are feeling safe, supported, and equipped to deal with any challenge that they may be facing out in the community. I would say probably our most pressing concern right now is our number of displaced students and families. So when I say displaced, I mean students who are homeless, who are living in shelters, or who are living in like alternative placements right now, and not living in their home. So that is one of our major concerns and needs right now. So that would be something I would definitely want the community to know, in addition to our food insecurities of our families. I think our pantries are busting at the seams. We are definitely seeing an increase of visitors in our pantries community-wise, so that
This is really important because the numbers, when you look at a district numbers-wise, you look at test scores and academics and, did we do fractions yet? And are we up to calculus yet? I don't know why I'm on math today, but a student who has housing insecurity or food insecurity is not going to show up ready to worry about fractions or differentiation or any of that kind of thing like that. And it's another way that the district has to be aware that you can't support academics until you're already supporting these other needs. It's a lot for you to have to cover.
And we have three main goals that we're focusing on right now around academics, attendance, and behavior. And one of the things that is really a barrier is to make sure that we remove barriers for kids and families so that they can be at school, so they can be ready to learn, and they can do their best.
And that's another measuring thing, attendance.
Yeah.
Attendance is a thing that comes up on the reports. It's on the state report card. But if you have housing insecurity, how are you even going to try to have good attendance records? I don't even know how you'd make that happen.
I think just knowing and being like proactive in front of the problem, like knowing like ahead of time, like sometimes our housing insecurities come like gradually over time, like due to like job loss or like a decrease in hours and things like that. But other times it's like overnight where there's a situation where families are forced to leave their home, or there's a natural disaster that they are, experiencing. So things like that, but just being proactive and knowing who to reach out to in those times and making sure we have transportation set up in a timely manner and things like that are really where we're trying to hone in to make sure we're getting to the kids and getting them to school ready to learn. We rely a lot on our community partnerships, but we also recently have realized that we need to build those supports naturally in our buildings. So we do have a lot of different things that we are trying in our buildings to make sure students have access to those resources.
And so one of those resources is a district social worker, which is why you're here to talk about it, and that as a district that you needed to have that. But also, how are students part of that equation? Are they able to be part of that help?
Yeah. You want to speak on that?
Absolutely. I have built very great relationships with students and their families, and a lot of students will come in and talk to us and tell us what's going on, or they'll tell a friend, and a friend will let us know. And so then at that point, we can reach out to the families and get them connected with resources, whether it's food from the Taylor Pantry or transportation. I reach out to Lindsay for that. So I think relationships is a huge part of that.
Do you think you see an impact on students that are helping connect their peers? Do you see any kind of maturity or growth when they get to be part of that process?
We have some really, really, really resilient kids at Northwest. We truly do. We have kids who go through a lot of different challenges, but they're also giving back to the community. So I'll give an example. For instance, White Oak Middle School right now is starting their wellness closet, their Warrior Wellness Closet, and they had their sixth graders come in and to do a huge donation to get them started. And those kids, those are students and families who have donated, but yet they're going to access that pantry and that closet at some point in time. So it's really cool to see that. And I know that Amanda and I were talking about earlier, people will come visit the pantry and then they'll bring stuff to donate to the pantry, so they're giving back. They may not have what they, they're donating what they may not need, but they're collecting what they need. So
they get to be part of their own help, but also helping their peers and know it's not just a service that someone does for them, but they get to be part of that process. I love
Yes, a lot of the families that had come through the pantry they give me their phone number and their name, and they want to come and volunteer. They say, you're helping me, but I want to be able to give back. How can I give back? And I'm like, come volunteer.
Is there
Absolutely.
a place where members of the community can find out what your needs are? There's always people who will say, here's a box of something, but it's not necessarily what you need. Is there a way people can find out, I need this, this, and this, and they could bring it to us to add to the closet?
I think that we do a great job of advertising through Peach Jar, just like our Taylor Pantry hours and times, and our Pleasant Run Middle School Pantry hours and times. They are open. I can let Amanda speak on that a little bit more, a couple times a month for a couple hours in the evenings, and that information is sent out. So just that information itself, and then when people get large donations or collect a large amount of items, they will reach out and say, hey, does your pantry need this at this point in time? And that's just our touch point that starts our conversation of what else do we need and where else do we need those things at.
But it's also the fact that it takes a village. And although we have a lot going on in the district at Taylor and Pleasant Run Middle School and White Oak and at all of our buildings to support our kids and our families, our community partners are also connected. And so our community partners connect with Lindsay and the other schools to make sure that they're also helping take the resources they have within the community and get them where people most need them. And so it's a community effort. We're the hub of that for some of that, and we're proud to. I think the other thing that's really important is that Amanda, as a counselor at Taylor, we have counselors in all of our buildings. We are very fortunate in our district that commitment to the counseling services and the social work to make sure that we have the resources and supports to address student and family needs and collaborate around that so that the needs of our students and our families are met.
What are some of the specific initiatives that the district has done to give back to the community?
So I would say we do a lot. We hold true to our tradition of giving back to the community and accepting help from the community at all times. Our largest events typically happen during the holiday season. We do 2 large distributions for Thanksgiving and Christmas assistance. We call them our holiday gift giving, and There's food distributions for Thanksgiving. We service over 300, 400 families at a time, and then same with Christmas. We have a large event that we partner with Nate's Toy Box and Sun Ministries, and then in addition to all of our other partnerships, such as our Shop at the Cop programs. Green Township also supports us. Coleraine Township also supports us, and they raise like $7,000 and just spend it and spoil our families and really give them what they need.
And Lindsay, you may want to talk about our back to school event as well.
Yeah,
the Health and Safety Fair.
Yeah, we every year, like historically, since I've been here, like 15 years at this point in time, we've had a back to school health and safety fair where the community really comes together and helps us provide our families with back to school supplies. They provide us with free health checks for screenings and physicals and things like that for our families and our students. They provide us with dental checks. They help us with haircuts, making our students feel prepared and ready to come back to school. So it's really, like Daryl said, it's simply a village, and we're lucky that we have such great partnerships who understand our needs, and that we are able to articulate what our students really need.
And I have a list of, you've mentioned these community partners, and I want to make sure, I'm sure there's some that aren't on the list, but I want to make sure we call them out, because Sun Ministries, Nate's Toy Box, you mentioned, Side by Side,
Yes.
is so involved in so
Yes.
many different ways. The Shop with a Cop programs. There's almost the entire business community as part of the health and safety fair.
Yes,
I think.
yeah.
Literally could not list them all.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you are part of the business community, you should contact them and find out how you can also give back during the health and safety fair, because there will be another one this summer.
And we do. We start the planning early in the spring. So yes, that is our next big, large thing that we do start planning for.
And I feel like we should mention that. We're talking about
Yeah.
partners. We're talking about how the community partners, you have this unique way of outreaching to students and families because you are in a unique position of being connected to them. And a lot of times, and I think right now, we think, how should I give back? But of course, we need that all year round. And so maybe now, because people are thinking about it, is a good time to say, what can I do? What can my business do? How can we connect? What do I do that might be helpful for the school district? And maybe if you're not sure, reach out, because maybe they can help you figure that out.
I would like to throw out one more that
Yeah.
that is specific to Taylor. We have a great partnership with PNS Family Diner. They take up a collection, a food collection, a toy collection during the holidays, food collection all year, and they bring it to Taylor and donate it to our pantry. And they donate the toys as well. They have done that for the 3 years I've run the pantry, and it is an incredible partnership. So thank you, PNS.
Yeah, we have a lot of business partners that are connected to individual schools who help with tutoring, with financial donations, with PBIS and some of the rewards for students for behavior. So we have just, like I said, it takes a village, and we truly have a unique environment here where people want to be involved, they want to give back, and they're extremely willing to put time, effort, and energy into it. We started talking about a season of giving, but for us, it's not a season. It's all the time, and our staff go above and beyond on a daily basis to give back to kids and families in ways that we don't even know about. So it truly is a magical time of the year, but it also is something for us that is not a period in time. It is our existence.
That's true. These are specific programs we're talking about, but there's nobody who works in the district who isn't in the district because they want to connect to these kids and to the families, and who's probably doing stuff that you don't even know about, or you find out about sort of by accident. And I love the fact that there are businesses that pick specific schools to partner with, because then there's a community neighborhood relationship, and it's really easy to get excited about that because those are the kids you see walking up and down the sidewalk. So you want to help those kids. And Amanda, are there specific examples how individual schools in the district are contributing to these efforts?
Yeah, absolutely. We've received food donations from Montford Heights Elementary, Northwest High School, Coleraine Elementary. They'll, during the holidays do a food drive, and then they'll send all the donation to us to then stock our pantry. We've had that. We've had the Student Senate at Northwest High School took up a big collection and donated to our PBIS store to help in that aspect. So the schools are definitely all working together to make sure that we meet the needs of our community members.
And Pleasant Run Elementary just did a huge drive with socks, and they put granola bars in the socks, and we donated them to a local hotel that we know some of our families are staying in. And I called the hotel and I said, here's a box, let our families just come in and grab a pair of socks and a granola bar as they're coming in and out. And so that was a really cool thing. They also made placemats in their art classes, and we gave those out to our families as a nice touch for the Thanksgiving distribution. So they had something else special for them during Thanksgiving.
Are there specific stories of impacts, whether it's someone that helped or someone that needed help, that you could share with us?
Our staff know our kids by name, story, strength, and need, which is why we can get things to them that they need, because we know them at that level. We know families like that. So I think the thing that's most powerful is the fact that our staff take the time to get to know our kids. We don't just teach them, we care about them as individuals. And so all of our staff across the entire district are invested in the development of our kids, the success of our kids, and supporting the entire community.
Is there one particular thing that you think stands out for you?
I will say, just to kind of add on to that, it goes beyond our staff knowing that. Just recently, we had our Shop of the Cop event, and a parent reached out to me the very next day with a heartfelt email and told me how thankful she was and sent me pictures of her students with all the goodies. And it was a really great feeling. I get those emails all the time when we're able to give. But she then went on to say, she was like, it was just so much more than just a gift-giving event. She said, my teenagers were able to connect with those police officers in a way that she was like, they just cared. They asked what their interests were. They asked what their goals were. They asked what their challenges were. And she said they were able to break down one of their challenges, which is trying to look for a job. So they were immediately connected to a job right after that. And this is a family that's been dealing with a lot. They don't have a car. And when the officer told them the restaurant that he could possibly get them a job at, it was located directly across the street from their home. So it was within walking distance. It just so happened to be the right time, the right place. And, it really does make something small like that makes huge impact on our families, one by one.
That story is so neat because it highlights that it's not the thing you thought that you were giving them. You see Shop of the Cop and you think, okay, they're going to go into a store and buy items and the kid will have items, and you feel like that's what the event is about. But it wasn't, because it was about, that was really just the vehicle.
Yeah.
That was about getting the teens a chance to build a relationship with another
positive
grown-up.
relationship, too.
A positive
Yeah.
relationship with an officer who is a grown-up mentor for them, and able to connect them to opportunities. And in the Shop of the Cop was just a vehicle to make that happen.
Yeah.
Amanda said it earlier, it's relationships, and relationships lead to conversations, which lead to connections.
And you said knowing the students. And I think some of us might know of, things from history or our past that say someone was going to give us something because they felt like they should give us something and it wasn't what we needed, right? And it's that knowing your students and saying, you know what? So what you actually need is a job you don't need a ride to that's close in your neighborhood.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I can help you with that. And you have to know the student, and you have to know what they need, and what the family's needs are. Is there anything in particular about, we've just kind of generally glossed a whole lot of giving programs and partners and ways the students are involved and way the communities are involved and way the staff is involved. But is there anything in specific that you would like the community to know about this topic?
If they're going through something, if they know somebody going through something, reach out. Stop me in the arrival line or the dismissal line, or call the school, and we can help.
Schools are a microcosm of the communities they serve, and so the needs are within our schools, but they're also within our communities. And so making sure that people are aware that although we've talked about a season of giving, this is really a commitment not just at a single time of the year, but as an ongoing commitment to serving students and serving a community.
And I guess I'll just add, because we've said this in the past, that sometimes we picture a family that needs help and we have an idea of what that looks like, and it might not be what we think our family is, and that's why we feel like we can't ask for help. So you're there for anyone that if you're in the drop-off line and you feel like, who do I ask? You're there,
Yep.
there's staff there, there's people that they can ask.
There's no criteria, or there's no, like, for someone to access our pantries. And it's not just a Taylor Elementary pantry. It's not just a Pleasant Run Middle School pantry. We are here for the entire district, and all you have to say is one of your students' names, and that's it. That's all the questions that are asked, and you're welcomed, and you're offered the resources that you need right on site.
I think that's important for folks to know ahead of time. It's easy to access. It's not going to be scary. It's not going to be hard. And I will remind people, follow the website. There's information about absolutely everything you could ever imagine about the Northwest Local School District. Every single school has its own section. There's calendars. It's all on the website. So make sure you're following that. You're keeping an eye on it periodically, checking for updates. But also the Facebook page. You have a lot on the Facebook page, and that's where you're going to see the latest, the newest thing coming up, the reminder they know you forgot about. And if you click follow, it will show up in your feed and you won't have to remember to go check. So I want to remind folks to do that, because we obviously can in this program cover absolutely everything you need to know about the whole district at any given time. Is there anything else you want to let folks know?
Thank you for the time and for spotlighting the great things that are happening in the district. And thank you to Lindsay and Amanda, because they are leading the charge of getting resources where they need to go and supporting our community.
And I want to thank you all for coming in. Also, I want to thank you for watching, because that means you want to stay connected to what's happening in the Northwest Local School District. And we'll see you next time.